Hey gang, this is Matt Sumstine. This is the pre-tournament video for the 2016 HHSAA Championship Games. I've pulled some plays from the previous week just to highlight a few things that we want to make sure that we are thinking about on the field before we enter the tournament. Play number 1 involves illegal players downfield. This was a play that Iolani sent me. I've highlighted the left guard. And this is a long developing play and a rollout. And this many times will end up with a player downfield. But you can see 57's contact at the 5, which is within the limit. The snap was at the 6. He blocks at the 5. That's within a yard. And he stays right there at about the 5 or the 4 3/4. This is not illegal man downfield. It was called, but here's why it's not. 57, this guard, comes down, and he does make contact behind the line of scrimmage here, and that puts him one step over the line. He's meandering right there on the 5-yard line. That has no impact on anything. This should not have been called as illegal man downfield. Play number 2 is a Mililani game, and illegal man downfield was not called. And this is entirely different because the left tackle immediately peels off, and he's a decoy. He is not blocked by anyone at the line of scrimmage. That activity that would have allowed him to go downfield never occurs, and he just runs downfield. In this case, there's no leeway. He did not block anyone at 1 yard, so he does not get the 2 yards. And this is going to be a pane of glass because this is a decoy blocking maneuver to pull the safeties up. This is the line judge's key, and you have to act very quickly. As he releases, you have to say, I've got this guy downfield. He's a decoy, pulling safeties up. Go back. Check the quarterback. If he's still in that passing motion, you've got a foul. Drop it where the player was beyond the 2-yard belt, and we've got illegal man downfield. Play number 3 is another form of illegal man downfield, and this is just everybody going. You can see we're snapping at the 36, so the 38's our blocking limit, and we've got guys already way downfield. In fact, 75 is blocking so far downfield that this is also offensive pass interference. So we need to be able to pick these types of plays up by focusing on the men downfield and checking to see if the quarterback still has the ball, and then if a forward pass is thrown beyond the line of scrimmage. Play number 4 is a short punt with a fair catch signal, and this is excellent mechanics on this because on a short punt, sometimes we have a tendency to miss those signals. I think the field judge probably was the first one to recognize it and come in and shut it down based on the timing of the whistle. But you can see there's a signal coming in and then that short drop. And on those short drop punts, sometimes we need help from our deep wings to make sure that that ball doesn't touch somebody as it comes down. So just a nice job of recognizing. Sticking with the punts for just a second, we're going to talk a little bit about bobbling a punt snap and if that affects your protection or not. And in this case, no. Once he releases that left arm and he's extending that ball out to drop it, he's back in a kicking motion. There was plenty of space there, so he's still entitled to his protection. Also on these mechanics, as we watch the officials move down the field, we can see that the line judge is watching the ball in the air almost immediately, then looks back down, then looks back up into the air. This is not good mechanics. We need to maintain our focus on the players and have a general feel for where the ball is going to come down. And then when it starts to bounce back, we've got officials all ball watching instead of watching the backside player action until the ball becomes dead. This next punt play is a little bit different because this is a grounded snap with a bobble, and this takes a little bit more time. So we're bobble, pretty unsure of what's going to happen with that kick. So the defenders do get more leeway with regards to that, similar to if a punter goes on the run. In this case, however, correct call for roughing the punter due to the way the contact is initiated. What makes this illegal is he can see that the ball is extended out. He may not have enough time to not contact that player due to that grounded bobble and delayed action, but he does have enough time to take his helmet out of initiating that contact and remove some of that force associated with the hit. He was not trying to wrap tackle. He was not making a play on the ball. He had just decided that he was going to deliver a punishing blow on that punter, although he would have gotten away with pulling up a little bit and some forceful contact. Once you dip that head in there, you're guilty. Last of the punts is a high snap recovery, and then he does get the punt off. And this happens very quickly, and there is enough time for the defenders to avoid that contact, or at least reduce the forcefulness of it. And this is forceful contact on the kicker with enough time to avoid it.
Running into the kicker. Defense, number 28, 5-yard penalty, replay 4th down.
So it was called running into the kicker. So you are acknowledging that the contact was illegal. We just need to recalibrate that this is a forceful airborne contact that takes that punter to the ground. So that is roughing. Play number 8 is a simple DPI play. It's the field judge's key. The back judge calls DPI. The reason I have this in here is because this is a basic enough DPI that the field judge, with your original key, you should have this. Defender never plays the ball. We've got early contact. You're ruling incomplete, which is correct. It is incomplete, but we expect you at this level to be able to call that as defensive pass interference. Play number 9, defensive pass interference, was called by the umpire, which I know is somewhat of an oddity. Player number 13, looking at us right now, does a down and in crossing route about 1 yard or 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. Actually, it's 2. And he is illegally contacted by a defensive linebacker while he's on his passing route, and he's forcefully knocked to the ground. And look at the contact and how it's initiated. 47 is using an upward thrust. He puts his right shoulder into the head and neck area of this crossing receiver. So this is a defenseless player. It constitutes targeting. It's also, under the Hawaii guidelines, an illegal blindside block. So this is a high consideration for disqualification. I want to go back to this play and discuss some of the mechanics of it as well. Number 13 is the back judge's key. The back judge is on the line judge's side, so that is his crossing route. He may release him due to the pass, so we expect the head linesman to help out with the crossing route. Also, look where this ball is intercepted. This is a momentum spot that can only be determined by your deep wings. So back judge, don't get on that touchback signal until you check with the deep wings as to the location of the interception. Next play, we had a targeting called by the line judge against the linebacker who's highlighted here. And I will grant you that it does have a look to it that might draw you into it. But this is not targeting, and we have to be careful between the tackles. You almost have to have, with the position changes and the runner, you almost have to have that National Geographic Ram style moment. And this is a side of the helmet to the shoulder, just a missed call, but hopefully we can work on that heading through the tournament. Play number 11 is just a mechanic at the sideline. It's between the head linesman and the side judge. You can see the side judge is at the goal line. And we always say that, oh, we'll meet you at the 2 kind of stuff. And that's really not exactly what happens. And when we do have a forward progress spot, we really only want one person to get it. So in this case, the head linesman coming down. You're starting close enough together that you would probably expect that unless the ball makes it to the 1. So the best thing the side judge can do is just maybe talk out the yard line, either the 3 or the 2.5, and then manage the player action until you're able to get a ball for the next play. One more thing before I let this play go. You see that person standing at the 4-yard line, that ball boy or statistician? I'm not sure what he's doing, but we do not allow people to occupy any area between the 10 and the goal line unless they're behind the 12-foot restraining line. So let's make sure we adhere to that during the tournament. Play number 12 is just a 4th down, step down mechanic, and we've talked about this in the past. If we're anywhere going for it on 4th down and we're under 3 yards, or maybe even stretch it to 5, we want to treat that as a goal line and have our wing officials move to that spot and be there waiting for the runner. And in this case, the runner is already beyond that spot before our wing official makes a step move. We want you moving at the snap to the exact line to gain so that you can make quick and accurate rulings on very close plays. Play number 13 is an illegal blindside block from a game last week. And the reason why here in Hawaii we require an open hand blocking technique to initiate a blindside block is because a high percentage of forceful initiated shoulder blocks on a blindside also result in targeting. Now, it's not clear on the sideline view, but the end zone view, it is clear. When this contact is made, the pursuing defender's head gets spun due to the contact from the defender's helmet on his face cage.
Player. After the interception, personal foul, illegal blindside block, defense, number 23, half the distance to the goal, Kahuku first down.
This player was down and injured as a result of that, had some numbness in his legs and difficulty moving, and that is why we have made these types of blocks illegal in Hawaii. So this is an illegal blindside block with targeting and disqualification supportable. Last play is about timing at the end of the game, also measurements. You can see that this is a close game. Waipahu on offense is down by a point. There's 1:07 left in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 2. They're trying to get a first down. Time is very sensitive. They're in the defensive team's area of the field. So when they do run this play, they are marked just short, but there's some uncertainty as to whether or not they made it. So what do we do with the clock? Well, we know that a running play of this nature will take 6 or so seconds, 7 seconds maybe, so that at the end of this play, had they made the first down, we would have stopped the clock at about a minute. If we preload that, we are more prepared for this play than you might think, because if we're not sure and we want to take a look, then we have time. We can leave the clock running. We can go take a look and take our normal period of time that we would use in a hurry-up offense to spot the ball, which is typically somewhere between 8 and 9 seconds, and then the offense would then snap the ball probably within 10 to 12 seconds of the ball becoming dead. So if we are going to stop this play, we want to make sure that we stop it within the same time parameters that we would have spotted the ball. We don't have to stop it right away. We've got that 7 to 8 to 9 seconds to go take a look. Now, if they did get the first down after we look, we know we're going to put the clock back at 1 minute because the clock would have stopped after the previous play. But if we're not going to give them the first down based on taking a look, we've only used the amount of time on the clock we would have normally used to spot the ball anyway. And once we put the ball back ready for play, the game clock and the play clock will start, and the offense can snap it as quickly as they would like to, and the time will have been the same. So that's some good things to talk about as you move into time-sensitive situations and how you can be aware of how to handle them on the field. Lastly, from a mechanics standpoint, we do not want our referee signaling the press box the distance that we need to go when he's concealed behind the lead chain. So ideally, we would get the back judge out of there. The referee could step out so that he can be seen and give the signal that we're short and what the distance might be. That's it, guys. We kick off this weekend. I hope that these plays give you some thought processes to better prepare you for this year's tournament. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there, and best of luck.